Yo guys, what is up? Right now, today I'm doing the video. What if Deku was what if Deku was siblings with the big three? So how this is gonna work? Basically, how the Inko is best friends with the fathers of Mirio, Tamaki, and Nejire. So yeah, and they drank a bit too much one night. When they all went out to the bar, and they ended up doing the deed. Let's just say you could just say Inca got the triple vitamin D, if you know what I mean. It's not the type of vitamin D to help with your body. It's something else, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, they do that, and Inco's pregnant with all three of them, who are all gonna be. Keep in mind, they're all gonna be half siblings too. So, as their wives are okay with this, says they realized that it was a drunk mistake on their part. They just glad to know that they just came out with it and decided to not keep it a secret from them. Some say that they actually became good friends with them, as they could actually apologize to and they forgave her. And actually, they all started to become great friends. 9 months later, she gave birth to Tamaki, Nejire, and Miria. But just imagine them with just small tips of green in each part. Nejire with small parts of green in her hair, and Tamaki with tips of green, and Mirio being with part of Mirio's hair being green. Like he has green lines through it, basically. As they still had their original quirks, but then 3 years later, Izuku was born. So yeah, after that, 4 years after Izuku was born, they go to the quirk doctor. The quirk doctor is just astounded by Izuku's quirk. As he says, "Ma'am, your son has a very powerful quirk that not even most of us doctors can comprehend." She's like, "What is it?" As he says, "It's half black flames and half explosions, and half calibrated explosions." Yes, I'm making Izuku OP in this, cause you know what? I don't give a fuck. You better respect it. So yeah, probably later today, since it's 3:48 a.m. Right now where I am. So later in the afternoon, probably I'm gonna try and do part 2 to What If Deku Was Genos, or I might do it after I upload this. I don't know exactly, or I might just do later in the night. Anyways, back to the story. Izuku hears this. He's how he can become a great hero. He and Bakugo are actually great friends, especially since their quirks are pretty similar. Hang on, give me a sec. Sorry about that. I had to go get something. So yeah, basically after Izuku hears this, and Izuku and Bakugo become great friends. Actually, and after this, I'm gonna try and do a triple upload today. So I'm trying to upload 3 videos. So, okay. So after that, Izuku. 10 years later, Izuku goes to the sports festival. No, I fucked up. Fast forward to a few days later, Izuku, as they say, as Iko says, Izuku, I'd like for you to meet some people. As I'm gonna say that the day before that, they were thinking of getting Izuku, Nejire, and Mirio to meet each other, and they were gonna tell them about, and wait till later to when they're all in UA. to tell him about them being siblings. They said they were gonna meet up and tell him about it. As they say, Ezekiel, I'd like for you to meet some people. As he's like, okay. As as they hear a knock at the door, as he's like, oh, Ezekiel, go get it. As he sees t- si- two, they see 9 people at the door. Mirio with his mom and dad, Tamaki with his mom and dad, and Nezre with her mom and dad. So yeah, basically after that, after they're like, Izuku, these are my friends, and these are their kids, Mirio Togata, Nezre Hado, and Tamaki Amajiki. He says, as he's still a bit shy, as he's like, greetings, I'm Izuku Midoriya. As Mirio shakes his hand, excitedly saying, what's up, little dude? In an hyperactive voice. Tamaki is a bit shy. As he's like, hey, I'm Tamaki Amajiki. As Nezure with a curious self says, my name's Nezure Hado. What's your quirk? Oh shit. Here we go again. Sorry about that. That just pops up randomly. So yeah. Basically, as Nezure says, what's your quirk? He says, my quirk is half black fire control. Well, my quirk is fire control and calibrated explosions. I can use them both, too. As Big 3 hear this, as all 3 of them hear this, they're just surprised on how he can be one with a powerful quirk. So yeah, as they all get to know each other better, and eventually over time, grow in a sibling-like relationship with Izuku, referred to them as older brothers, older brothers, as older brothers and older sister. As fast forward some time later, Izuku is now 12, and Tamaki and Tamaki, Nezure, and Mirio just made it into UA. As Izuku hears about them getting into UA, and he's happy for him. He's like, as he came up, he talks to me, as it says, Mirio, can I talk to you about something? Yeah. As he's like, I got an idea for your hero costume. As he just shows him his canon costume that we see in the canon and manga, as we see in canon when he's shown in the anime. As he's like, oh, that's cool. What's what? No. As he says, what's so special about it? As he's like, it's made from. I thought about it. The material used for it is a membrane made from your own hair, so it doesn't phase through you when you use your permeation. And he's like, that's genius. Suzuki, this one is still a quirk nerd. Well, not as much, really. He says he's out like Bakugo and stuff. And with Bakugo on this one is more of a kind of generous person. Me and Izuku also have a brotherly bond. As basically, fast forward 3 years later, 3 more years later, Izuku is now 15 and is in his last year of middle school at Aldera Junior High. Is a canon middle school. So yeah, as he and Katsuki are almost See, the big three and Katsuki are almost inseparable altogether. And they've all worked and they're all really good at working together too. They've all thought about they're all gonna run a joint agency together. They said when they all become pros. So yeah. So basically, they were all gonna be sidekicks under different agencies until all of them graduate from UA, including Izuku and Bakugo. So yeah, the teacher says, it's time for you guys to start thinking about your careers. So I'm handing out these career aptitude tests. I just throws them in the air and he says, who am I kidding? I know you all want to be heroes. But Katsuki still has a bit of his cocky personality. But it's toned down by 10 times. He still gives his original speech, but instead he includes Izuku in it, as he's like, hey Teach, don't walk me in with these bunch of losers. Me and Izuku are the real deal, but these guys are lucky to end up as sidekicks some busted C-lister. As they say, you think you guys are better than us, Katsuki? It's like, I don't think we're better. I know we're better. But he says, that doesn't mean I don't think y'all can become heroes, though. You just need to train hard, that's all. As they're all just surprised by this. This Katsuki usually acts more cocky. I was like, what happened to you, Katsuki? What the fuck happened to you? What the students say. Hey, that's all I just did that all for fun. I'm like, so you've been saying all this shit just for fun? What do you expect? I grew up with Izuku. As he says, oh yeah, Bakugo, Izuku, don't you two want to apply to UA? As they're like, yes, we do. As they all start to whisper, someone's saying, yeah, they'll definitely get in. And as actually one student says aloud, no way Izuku could get into UA with a quirk as destructive as his. Sure, Katsuki has explosions, but Izuku can make his different types, and his black fire can burn anything it touches almost automatically. He's like, as he starts to activate his fire, he's like, bitch, you really want to fucking test me, eh? I will crisp your ass, and I'll throw your ass in front of a roller as it says, roll it down the river. Cook your body. No, I'll just play it on repeat, singing that as I make myself dinner. Is that when including Bakugo was just scared shitless by this? Sorry for all the cussing though, my bad. So after that, there you go. Katsuki says, hey Zuko. I was like, yeah? You wanna hang out with me and some of the boys later? He's like, sure, but I have to go. But I'm gonna go to Mirio, Nedre, and Tamaki's houses to check up on them to see what's going on. I was like, okay. I'm gonna ask them, and I'm asking if they wanted to train with us. It's like, alright. See you later. Okay. As the sludge from incident still happens, but Izuku just burns that villain to a crisp, almost killing it. Only a small piece able to get away and able to reform. As he just grabs a hold of Katsuki later, as Izuku still gets his autograph from All Might, it still asks the question: can I be a hero even with a quirk as destructive as mine? And he's like, what is your quirk? It's more or less two quirks. And it's like, what are those exactly? Black fire and calibrated explosions. I can change the sweat in my palms, so I can produce different types of explosions. If I want to produce atomic explosions, it changes my palms so it sweats uh, uh types of substance that's used in atom bombs. If I want to create nuclear bombs, I change my sweat to become more like a nuclear. And I just had the regular explosions, which is produced by nitroglycerin. So yeah, basically so that's that. He's like, kid, even if your quirk is destructive, you can still be a hero. And I don't say that all my sees how fit Izuku is, and he's like, which is why I want you to be my successor. As he's like, huh? He's like, yes. As he explains one for all and all for one, as Izuku says, I'll think about it. As Izuku to as I'm gonna say that actually I'm gonna say change up Katsuki's Bakugo's quirk a little. I'm gonna say that his quirk is also that he could also manipulate fire too, with its explosions, and he can also produce fire. Actually, he's somewhat of an explosion wolf, and he will make people like him too. As Izuku sees that's Katsuki inside, as he just inside the sludge villain, as he just becomes enraged, as he tries to rush in there, but the pro hero Dead Arms tries to stop him, as Izuku just elbows him in his side, almost breaking two of his ribs. As Izuku just rushes in there and gets inside the sludge villain as he wakes up Katsuki, might hit him on a few pressure points. He's like, "You ready for that combo move?" He's like, "Yeah." As they join their hands together, as they start to increase the temperature of their fire, eventually creating white fire, and then the fire turns to blood red fire, or basically all pure red fire. As they just jump out of sight, they just start to fly up in the sky. After they got the sludge villain, as they say unison, duo move, Grave Hellraiser. As he's as they raise their hands up, and as red fire shoots out from the ground, completely incinerating and killing the sludge villain, almost on impact with the fire. Someone just shocked by how much power these kids have. When they work together. So basically, after this, don't forget the big three is watching this also. So basically, after that, they get he says to All Might, he's like, "I don't want your quirk." Are you like, "You sure, kid?" So yeah, I actually got a few suggestions. And he's like, who are these? Mirio Togata, Nejire Hado, and Tamaki Yamajiki. I was like, that's so. And he says, yeah. He's like, may I ask what their quirks are? As Izuku says, Mirio's quirk is permeation. It allows him to phase through any organic or inorganic matter. Basically, he can phase through anything and everything. Tamaki's quirk is manifest. He can take on the characteristics of anything he eats. Like he can gain tentacles from eating takoyaki and stuff like that. Measure's quirk is called Surge, which is basically that she could shoot out her energy in swirls, which could be pretty damaging if she uses full power, but it drains a lot of energy from her. That's the backlash. If she uses her quirk too much or pushes it past its limit, she's gonna need a lot of rest before she can attack it, before she can use her quirk again. He's like, I'll look into these three. And he decides Mirio's probably gonna be the best option. As he goes to Mirio and asks him, as Mirio says, sure. As I'll say that all my ask Izuku to at least still train him. As Izuku says, can my friend join us? Can our friends join us? He's like, sure. As he's like, and also Mirio accepted one for all. So yeah, after that, sorry, I'm just a small bit tired. It's somewhat, I can still talk pretty energetically though. So yeah, basically after that, basically they meet up at Dayagama Beach the next day, as they see a skinny man, as Izuku isn't phased by this at all, as he busts up and says, "Ha ha! I am here!" As basically they're like, "All Might," as Izuku and Miri aren't phased by this, but the others are. They're like, "All Might." Like, what do you want doing us here? Okay, so sorry about that. Luckily, I put my options to keep recording after while my phone's turned off. So yeah, after that, they basically go to the one. They basically train on the beach as they all clean it up. Which, since there's more of them there, they actually work. They actually get it done way faster, as they all gain quite a bit of muscle mass. When Nejire is training with Izuku and Bakugo, is actually training with Izuku in hand-to-hand combat. Since Izuku trained his physical body, so that way he wouldn't really have to rely on his quirk too much. And he could also use his physical strength whenever he needs to. Which is what he basically uses most of the time. So yeah, after that, 10 months later, oh my god. Sorry about that. So basically after that, Izuku and Bakugo go to take the UA entrance exam, as they they're pretty good on the Rent exam. I'm actually placing in the top in the top 20. Actually in the top 15. With Izuku being at 11th place and Bakugo being at 13th place. As basically, as Mike has explained the written portion, Ida gets up as originally. So, as he says what he says in canon, as he points over to those two, as they're just sleeping, but they can still hear what President Mike saying. He's like, "You two," as he points to Izuku and Bakugo. "You two are sleeping during this. If you do not care for this exam, I suggest you leave." Let's say something. I got this. He's like, "Boy, if you don't get your fucking Sonic wannabe looking head ass, look like that one person at the Thanksgiving party, be like, who, with your fucking who, ate the potato salad looking head ass. Look like I can only eat soft food looking head ass. I can only eat as he spawns a banana. Like he pulls a banana in his pocket since he wanted, for one case if he was hungry. I can only eat banana looking ass. As everyone just starts to die of, as everyone just starts to laugh their asses off. As Ida just sits down and he just said, "Damn, I just done got roasted. He called me a Sonic wannabe." You know, like that one person at the Thanksgiving part though. He ain't wrong. Like that. With the taste out, look at his ass. Sorry, I had to steal that from Wild 'N Out what DC said once. It was funny as though I just had to include it. So basically, after that, no, actually, Ida says, "What did you say?" As Izuku says, "I'm motherfucking not the bitch." And he says, "No, actually, he actually says that he's like, I'm motherfucking stutter, bitch." And fucking starts to laugh even harder. You hear this? And basically, they're in different during the exam area that Bakugo was. So basically, so yeah, after that, and then Izuku and Bakugo go in there. Freaking, they just rush in there after they do it. They see the doors open, as everyone's like, "What? They're cheating!" As they both scream, "There's no countdowns in the goddamn in a hero's fight. Come on!" As President Mike's like, "Exactly what they said. Follow those two." As they just start destroying robots, they just start going crazy with it. You feel me? As when they see the zero pointer, they see two girls trapped under it. If you're wondering, I'm shipping Bakugo with Momo and Izuku with I'm gonna say that maybe I got to think about it. Okay, so the ship for this one is gonna be Ryuku, cause well, you know what? I don't give a flying fuck. I just have to think about it for a sec. So basically, yeah. After that, they see zero pointer, and they see that Momo was about to get stuck under it. As Izuku says, "Bakugo, get her out." And he's like, "Right." As he grabs her, takes her over to the medic droids. As he just blasts back over to Izuku, as they just put their hands together, as they send it through the ground, as they just start to float up in the air, as they say, "Do a move." And the teachers are watching this too. Keep in mind, as they say, "Great Hellraiser," as they lift their hands up, as the red fire shoots out from it. I was like, they did it again. As Ned says, "What is it?" It's a combo move. Basically, by increasing the heat of both their flames when they combine it, they're able to produce red flames. Even hotter than the flames of the sun themselves. As the teachers hear this, they're just shocked. And they can decrease the temperature of it too. So it can barely even hurt. So they can just feel the impact of the flames. Which is over 50 times the original strength of the flames. So yeah. After that, they get their acceptance letters saying that they both scored first and second place, with Izuku getting first, since he had more of a mobility advantage. Since he worked on his physical body a lot, so he has a greater speed, and he can also use his legs, and he mainly uses, and he's more of a kick-based fighter too. And he uses his hands, he uses his fist, but he realizes the legs are more or the stronger part of the human body. He's like, I'm gonna use kicks more than I use my fist. So after that, they get their acceptance letters saying that they scored 11th and 13th place on the entrance exam. So yeah, after that, they they tell the big three, and they're just happy. As they tell Inka, as they say, she's like, "Hang on, I'll be right back." As they say, "Guys, it's time." They tell them. I was like, okay. as they're just like, all right. As they get into a group call, as they say this. As they say Mirio, as we cut to the big three's perspectives, as all their parents say Mirio, Tamaki, Nejire, they're saying, we're going to Yinko's house tomorrow. We have to explain something to you guys in Izuku. As on that same day, Izuku and Katsuki were gonna hang out at Izuku's house, like play video games and watch movies and stuff, and watch basically just have a bros night. As I'm gonna say that day, when they get there to the next day, so don't forget they still have a week before UA starts. So afterwards, they basically do this. They basically do it. They basically explain to it that they actually meet up at Iko's house with Bakugo there too, and they're like, "Huh? What are you guys doing here? We're here with our parents," as they said they had something to explain to us. It's like, so okay, as they go in there, as Iko says, Izuku, Mirio, Tamaki, Nejire, and they're like, yes. As they say, you guys and Izuku are all half siblings. As they're like, as they all say, what? As they're like, have you ever wondered why you guys never look like your mothers? As they're like, oh. And they just realize that they start to tear up, Nizuku too. And keep in mind, Makiyo's here too. As he's hearing this, as he's like, what the actual flying fuck? As he just says that. Oh, that's a motherfucking explain it to do. As Marco says that, and Izuku's like, as they all say, yeah, that is true. You guys have some explaining to do. They're like, you see, your husband, your fathers and I were good friends back in the day. And one day we went to a bar and we got a little too drunk. As Izuku says, so you got the triple vitamin D, eh? As she just says, shut up, Izuku. With that. As she just gets a flashback, a drunken flashback about what happened. As someone blushes a little. And she's like, as their wife said, you thought about that day, didn't you? And she's like, mm-hmm. You took it hard, didn't you? Didn't you, Winko? She's like, yeah. So yeah, as they explain it, with everything that happened, as they were like, we wanted to wait for you guys to get into UA, so we could explain it. So yeah, Izuku says, oh, so that's why I got weird vibes from him. I get different vibes from him down here with Bakugo. Vibes are almost similar. So yeah, this is where I'm going to be leaving it off, guys. So, see ya.